Good morning. Well, it has not been a great morning for me because somebody decides to not pay for getting on the subway. If you've seen people not paying to get in the subway, you may have seen them climbing over the pole, going under the pole. Using the emergency door as they exit. It's here somewhere. There it is. So, here's how New York commuters evade paying subway fares. Here's Lisa Guerrero. Can't do anything about the ads. It's how people make money. That's another show.
You use public transportation, obviously you're supposed to pay. But there is an epidemic across the country, people skipping out on paying their fare. And it's no small thing. As Lisa Guerrero reports, it's costing cities millions of dollars in lost revenue every year.
They hop, they duck, they climb, they go through two at a time. Anything to avoid paying the fare. Here in New York City, the problem has gotten so bad, it cost $215 million in lost revenue last year. Watch as this guy just leaps over the turnstile.
We just caught you jumping. Why did you do that, sir?
He goes back and pays.
This is what you're supposed to do. Pay to get in like everybody else, right?
Exactly.
Look at this. While we were talking to him, 1, 2, 3, 4, here come the rest, 5, 6, sneak through the emergency door. This guy pays to get in, but then opens the exit door, and here they come. 1, 2, 3,
That's
4,
12
5, 6 more.
through the emergency exit.
No one seems to worry about getting caught.
Are there any cops around? You guys not cops, right?
No, we're not cops.
Some subway scofflaws weren't happy to see our cameras.
Excuse me, sir. Did you just pay your fare?
Hey, get on my face, bro.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. This is on you.
Of all the places we checked, the worst problem was here, at the crossroads of the world, New York Times Square. It's an epidemic. Look, in just 2 hours, we counted 84 fare evaders, close to 1 per minute. Watch as this young woman strolls through carrying her coffee.
Why did you do that?
Because I left my card at home.
Others gave us plenty of excuses.
If I had the money, I definitely would pay.
I'm in a rush, so the doors be unlocked, so.
I was about to miss a train.
This woman simply said she didn't care.
So what are you gonna do about it?
We're reporting it.
Are you gonna arrest me? Are you gonna give me a ticket?
You don't do
So
that.
what are you gonna do?
Well, if a cop does catch you not paying your fare in New York City, the charge could be up to $100.
So it's 84 plus 12. That's like, let me do some math here. $84 plus 12. That equals 96. Now, if they pay $100, multiply that by 100, they owe $9,600. So those people, that's $100 each. Actually, 96 plus that's like close to $100 total. So if you're one of those people that don't pay for subways, you've got to understand. You got to understand. You need to pay for your subway. And I understand, like in a hurry, you don't have the money to do this, but you can get a friend or two to help you out. But someday you got to pay them back. And it goes on. What really needs to happen here, sorry, if you don't pay for your stuff, you're going to end up, what you're going to be doing is ending up paying a lot of money for this, paying a lot of money in fines. And to the Lisa Gross report 2 years ago, there weren't any cops. So that's something to watch out for. Alright, let's take a break. Coming up, it's Throwback Thursday. We're gonna throw back to Thursday. We're gonna throw back to laptop theft. Lisa Guerrero again with this laptop theft investigation after this. Every 52 seconds it happens. You leave your laptop there, and all of a sudden, bam, they steal it. Like if someone were to steal this Chromebook, then it happens every 2 seconds, costing you a lot of money to get it back. And really 2% of it gets back. So what can be done? Here again is Lisa Guerrero. Chief Investigative Correspondent, Lisa Guerrero.
You're watching a brazen thief swiping my laptop computer at a busy restaurant. It happens hundreds of thousands of times a year. And for the victims, the loss can be devastating.
911, what's your emergency? Someone broke into my car and they stole my laptop computer. And I'm just really upset because my whole life was on that.
Gail Forsythe from Charleston, West Virginia, made that heartbreaking 911 call when she realized her laptop had been stolen out of her car, parked right in the driveway.
I was just bawling my eyes out because I knew that someone else, someone bad, had my family's information and had my information.
We wondered if we could catch a laptop thief, so we set up a sting. I placed my laptop on tables at restaurants and cafes. I put my jacket on the chair, then briefly stepped away. What would-be thieves don't know is that we had security expert Jason Cecchettini of VectorTrack.com secretly place a tracking device in our laptop.
They would never know that there's a tracking system in this computer.
That's right. He could even get at home, open it up, power it on, and he could be surfing the internet while we're tracking him from outside.
At this McDonald's in New York City near Madison Square Garden, it didn't take long for our computer to attract interest. Watch as this guy scopes it out, then calmly closes our laptop, picks it up, and walks away. In no time, he's out the door.
We got him. He's walking out right now.
Our producer, wearing a hidden camera, follows the computer crook on foot, but he slips away in the crowded New York City subway. The laptop could be anywhere, so we wait in our van hoping to pick up a signal when the thief emerges from underground.
So it's 30 minutes later, and we just got a signal on him. Jason, what have you got?
Well, we now have a GPS location on him, and it shows him in Brooklyn. He's at the corner of Fulton Street and Marcy Avenue.
Our thief traveled 10 miles to Brooklyn, so we hit the streets.
So right now we're probably within about 100 feet of the laptop.
The signal led us here, to the second floor of this abandoned home. It was too dangerous for us to go in alone, so we asked officers from the New York Police Department to help. But without a search warrant, this was as far as they could go. So we tried again, this time across the country in Sacramento, California. We went to this Starbucks with outdoor seating. Again, I placed the computer and jacket at a table and walked away. Watch as this guy walks over, and after looking around to make sure the coast is clear, he takes the computer, and hey, that's my jacket. The chase is on.
How far are they from us right now, approximately?
They're approximately about 3/4 of a mile to the north.
His trail takes us on a winding ride through Sacramento.
Jason, I'm starting to hear some beeps. What does this mean?
So now we're probably within about 2 blocks of the laptop.
Then all of a sudden, I spot the guy.
It looks like directly in front of us on a bike is the kid that actually took the computer.
Excuse me? Can we talk to you for a second?
The jig was up.
Were you just at a Starbucks? A little ways back with a group of friends?
gonna put your thing on Craigslist.
You got our computer?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how cool he was, so I got out to confront him.
Did you steal my laptop?
I wasn't trying to steal your laptop.
That's funny, because it sure did look like he stole it. Believe it or not, he said he took the computer so he could return it to its owner by placing an ad on Craigslist. But where was my computer? We followed him back to his house where he handed it over. So for thieves thinking about swiping another laptop, think twice, because you may be tracked down by the Inside Edition I-Squad.
Excuse me? Can we talk to you for a second?
And if you'd like to learn how you can better save your laptop, just come to our website, InsideEdition.com, for some tips. We'll be back right after this.
And if you want to hear more about how you can protect your laptop from being stolen, stick around, because I'm going to tell you how you can protect your laptop from being stolen by telling you some tips. Stay with us. So far, we've been talking about is laptop theft. It happens everywhere. We just saw a report from Inside Editions. We stick around how it happens. It happens every second, and 2% of them rarely get returned. At least it's got returned. That's 3%. So what can you do if your laptop's being stolen? There's some information you can do. You always go to InsideEdition.com if you heard that story back from years. But if you decide to do that, but hey, if you just tuned in here, we're going to tell you you can protect your laptop, how you can report the laptop being stolen. If you want to report the theft, first thing you do, call the police. You can also register your device with a service like Immobilize. If the device is another part of a crime investigation in the future, it can return to you. But don't stop there. You need to contact your financial institutions. This is from Friendly PC. But still be worried. Small transactions are not always monitored by banks, which means some online transactions may still go through if the amount is low enough, doesn't appear in the ordinary. Call your computer manufacturer and insurance company. And you can also take steps to protect your information. Log out of all your sessions, delete all your passwords, delete browser sync, and in the future, make note of your device serial numbers. This can actually help get your stolen devices back. A lot of devices end up at pawn shops where those numbers are tracked. Install tracking software. Tracking software allows you to see if your device, where your device is and what's being used for. It's possible you can be able to photograph the criminal for Windows 10. Windows 10, you can enable My Device in your settings. You'll be able to track in your Microsoft account. Back it up. Back up all your data. It can be devastating loss. A little bit more bearable. And get insured. Find a company that will cover your laptop theft. What about Chromebooks? We haven't seen Chromebooks being stolen. And if you find your Chromebook, here's what you can do. Go to Security. On your Google account page, select Security from the left navigation menu. Scroll down to Your Devices section to see all the devices you recently used to log on to your Google account. Manage devices under that list. Scroll down the Chromebook you want to locate and select it. On the Chromebook device, you'll see several different sections that will provide you with information about current status of your Chromebook. If Google is able to pinpoint the city and state where the Chromebook is being located, using the IP address, you'll see that listed under the Recent Activities section. If you can't recover your Chromebook and you want to protect your Google account, select Sign Out, so automatically disconnect the Chromebook for your Google account. After this, any person with access to the Chromebook will be logging using your Google account without the password. How can you remotely connect your lost or stolen Chromebook? this is only if you have a Chromebook like me. So if it's being stolen, you need to click on remote support, select add extension. On your Windows machine, visit remotedesktop.google.com and select give support. Type in the one-time code you recorded above and select connect. You'll see a pop-up confirmation your Chromebook asks you to confirm the remote access. Select share to continue. And if you do that, your PC can now view the entire Chromebook screen remotely. If you interact with it using your mouse and keyboard just as you would you were sending the Chromebook itself. So if this was helpful, but can it be tracked? Every single Chromebook, as well as your phone, tablet, or Android operating system, has the ability to be tracked. The powerful ability allows you to find your Chromebook if someone steals it or just you forgot where you put it. What I would do is use Chromebook tracking. And if you want more, you can go on support. And go to settings. I don't think mine has it. I think it does, but if it happens to you, make sure in the near future that, because these Chromebooks are very expensive. Got mine almost a year ago for Christmas, and to my surprise it has not been stolen, but if you're looking up cases for your Chromebook, then look no further. So what needs to happen here? You can shop them at Walmart for a cheap price. You can go on Amazon and look it up. Look up Chromebook cases. Pretty expensive. But most laptops can fit your case. Most can't. Now let's move on to another investigation. Let's move on to expensive meat. This has been the very latest since labor shortages. But the question is meat really that expensive right now? Take a look. Because I buy meat a lot. Chicken is cheap.
As fallout from the supply chain and work shortage crisis, rising prices at the meat counter. Bacon and certain steaks are more expensive than they've been in a decade. Les Trent has details.
Meatflation is rocking the nation. This T-bone steak has set me back about $75. The price has gone up about $5 a pound in the past year alone. The reason for the increase? Labor shortages at processing plants and the supply chain bottleneck. But if you love meat, there are cheaper alternatives to fight meatflation. New York chef Franklin Becker says, think about switching to cheaper cuts of beef.
If you're looking to spend a little less money and you're looking to save, then you've got to go for the secondary cuts or the off cuts.
Yes, exactly.
Such as the chuck or the flank steak. Those are going to be the cheaper cuts, right? But as soon as you start looking towards filet mignon or prime rib or New York strip,
Exactly.
that's where you're spending the big dollars.
Cooked with a little salt and oil over high heat, cheaper cuts can taste really good.
That's delicious.
Turns out the only meat that appears to be cheaper this year than last is chicken. It's about 38 cents a pound cheaper.
And I agree with Deborah. Chicken is cheap. So if you want to so if you're going to have a barbecue this weekend, get chicken. Unless you want to spend 75 bucks on steak. Now, here's something that may shock you. You're working at a fast food restaurant, you're working at a restaurant, you get soup, and then somebody decides that it's too cold, the plastic's melting, this and that. Now imagine it getting thrown in your face. Well, that's what happened. This angry customer throws the soup at a manager's face, and what happened next can shock us. Here's the latest.
Shocking video of a customer throwing soup into a restaurant manager's face. The customer ordered a spicy menudo soup. It's a popular Mexican soup, and she claims that it was so hot it actually melted the top of the takeout container. The incident happened in Temple, Texas. The manager, 24-year-old Janelle Brolin, says the woman first called to complain.
And I, of course, offered her like refunds and was trying to get her either a replacement meal or just something completely different if she wasn't in the mood for soup anymore. And she just continued to yell.
But the customer showed up to confront her in person. Surveillance video shows the customer pointing to the melted plastic lid.
She just still continued to yell, make a scene, and still cursing with, families and other children in the restaurant. And that's when I said, ma'am, you either need to calm down or leave, or I'm going to be calling the police. And I said, ma'am, I can still help you, get you something. I just ask that you don't yell and cuss at me. And that's the moment she threw it at me.
When cooked, soup can reach a temperature in excess of 200 degrees. Fortunately, the soup had cooled down when it was thrown into her face, but she says it still stung.
The warmth of the soup was not enough to really burn me. I mean, as you can see, I have no injuries from that itself, but the spices from the soup are what my eyes were stinging so bad. They were burning, and the spices were all like inside of the top part of my nose, and it caused me to have a nosebleed.
The customer walked out, but she has been identified, and according to social media accounts, she's a nurse at a local hospital. It's so shocking to watch. If you could speak to her, what would you say to her?
I really don't have anything to say to her. I just kind of really hope that she learns her lesson, that people are not going to tolerate being treated that way ever.
Police are investigating to determine whether charges will be filed.
And now I have a final thought in a moment. If I have some words to say to this customer and threw that soup in the manager's face, it would be this. What the hell is wrong with you? If you threw soup in my face, I would press charges on you. But in this case, the police is still investigating this. This should have been reported right away. It's like, calm down, get you something else, or you can leave. So she chose the opposite way, throw something in their face, and risk having the cops called on her. The only expression a customer is always right, but sometimes it's not always right. When you throw something in their face. It's not funny, it's a joke. If I was this woman, I'd go back and apologize and say, hey, I'm sorry this happened to you, and I would apologize to the family out there that swore in front of the kids. I would apologize to them also. A scathing apology would happen. So in future references, if you got a problem with it, listen to the manager. They'll say, like, unless you refund, I'll give you something else. That's helping them out, and that can get you in less trouble. That's all, physician. Cut me a break Thursday morning. We'll see you again for a cut me a break Friday night. Have a good day, everyone. Be safe, and I'll see you next time. Good day.